Hi, I want to welcome you to your inquiry to LipoLite. My name is Dr. Mike Renzulli. You're going to be seeing just momentarily an instant video of how one of our LipoLite providers is able to grow $50,000 a month just every single month just with LipoLite alone. It's going to give you strategies, tools, tips, and techniques. It's just one example. Did you know that there's 236 doctors leaving practice every week with the whole Obamacare mess? Know that it's not your fault. You can easily shift direction, easily integrate it, and grow rapidly. Here's an example of how one of our doctors, one of our LipoLite providers is doing it, and you can too. I want to encourage you to follow up with this. It can sincerely help you, your family, your children. We're really going to be able to help you. Thank you for inquiring and enjoy.
Would you like to lose a dress size? Welcome to LipoLite, the intelligent, non-invasive alternative to liposuction. LipoLite is a revolutionary treatment for body shaping and fat reduction. Over a course of treatments, you can easily expect to drop a dress size. The red light generated by the LipoLite body sculpting system safely penetrates your skin and is absorbed by your fat cells. This stimulation opens pores in the fat cells, breaking down its contents, allowing the fat to escape, a process known as lipolysis. Your fat cells will then shrink whilst the excess fat is safely removed by the body's natural metabolic process. All you have to do is lie comfortably on the treatment couch for approximately 20 minutes whilst the light releases the fat from your target areas. A course of treatments is recommended over a 4-week period for best results. You may feel a gentle warming sensation as the light works to release fat. After each treatment, exercise is recommended to accelerate the removal of the released fat from your body. These results can be further enhanced and maintained with a sensible diet and exercise program. LipoLite is safe, affordable, and helps to improve your health and well-being for years to come.
Without any further ado, I want to introduce to you a LipoLite provider, my friend. This guy is a marketing, sales-oriented person initially. He's a master practitioner. He understands the LipoLite process very well. He understands the emotions, the mindset, the psychology, the scripting. He understands people's core needs, and he understands this process very well. You can learn a tremendous amount. You can just listen carefully, listen in between the lines, take very good notes. Without any further ado, Dr. Brent Babcock.
All right, thank you so
much. Take it away, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Doc. All right, well, thank you so much, guys, for listening in on me. I'm honored to be able to have the opportunity to kind of share with some fellow docs kind of what it is that we're doing in our clinic and how we do it, and actually our mindset. I think that's one of the biggest parts about being successful in anything that you do is more your mindset and understanding the potential that you actually have. One of the things that I find is really, it happens so often with so many practitioners, even friends that I've had buy LipoLite machines and whatnot, is they'll treat it as if it's another simple modality in their clinic. For example, if you're a chiropractor, you'll adjust someone and you'll say, oh, would you like some stim, or would you like the hydroculator, some heat, this, ultrasound, whatever it be. And the problem with that is that if you treat it that way, that's all people are going to see it as. And that's where a lot of our practitioners are making the mistake, because LipoLite's phenomenal. It has the ability to provide a really good income, but also it has the ability to help you hit your goals and also help people at the same time. See, one of the things I always talk to my staff about is understanding the golden circle, which has to do with, in the middle, having the why, what's our purpose, and the outer cores are the what and the how. What LipoLite is doing here with these seminars and having people like us speak is they're giving you the what and the how, right? This is what you offer, this is how you do it, and those are crucial parts of the puzzle here. But one thing that we can't give you is the why. And I really want that to hit home for a lot of you, because that's really what drives you. I mean, back when I was younger, being a wrestling champ, I was undefeated, this, and this. All these things that you can brag about in your life, and you look back at why you're successful, it's because your why was probably bigger than everyone else's. And so what is your why being in practice? Well, my why is that I just only get one chance at this life, and I want to make it a successful one. And so that means everything I do, every plan I have has to help me hit my goals. And so to answer that question now, you have to understand, what are your goals this year, right? I was speaking to a doc the other day, and he said, if I could just make another couple grand a month. And in my head, I thought to myself, a couple grand a month? What is that? That's not helping anybody. And so you have to change kind of the way you think about what LipoLite can actually provide for you. So I'd like you just to stop and think about kind of your goals this year and what type of income. You know, for us, I started off doing mainly a weight loss program, but saw a need for the LipoLite machine to really help make it different. People love it. And so you have to sit there and say, well, what goals do I want to achieve this year? You see, for my staff right now, we literally have done nothing in January here. Kind of the same situation that guy you were talking about before that hit 980,000. Hopefully we'll have that problem this year as well. But the truth is this whole last December, January, we slowed down and stopped as well so that we could plan out the rest of the year, so that it's not a guesswork, so that it's not a game as to, oh, no, my income is slowing down. What do I do this month? No, I have big old every member of my staff has a big old calendar, and we all sit down. I have one person in charge of calling, finding out where the events are. One person speaks with advertisers, and we'll get into that a little bit more, and I'll tell you exactly what we do and what we found has worked for us and what has not worked for us. I've spent thousands of dollars this last year, and on some got no leads. I taught at one seminar that after doing a commercial, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this, I taught 2 people. There was only 2 people showed up at that seminar. You want to talk about getting depressed and wondering if your systems are working. Trust me, I had to go to the movies after to calm down. So really, because I knew my why, and it's like I should be teaching 100 people right now at this seminar. Where did I go wrong? And really what it comes down to, my point in sharing that, is that you got to be stronger than that, because there will be failures, there will be slow times along this road, but if you stick to it and you stay confident in your plan and that in your why is bigger than everybody else's, it's going to pull you through those hard times. The next seminar, by the way, I sold both those 2 people that were at that seminar for over about $2,000 to $3,000 each. So I still made money that night. So it's just understanding exactly what drives you, because that we can't replace. We can give you the how and the what, but I think it's really important you understand that. So I'd like to speak a couple of minutes about what I was talking about in the beginning, treating LipoLite a little differently than other procedures in your office. This same doc that I was speaking to that said if I could just make a couple grand more, he told me, he just goes off of the referrals. When a patient comes in for whatever other services they're providing, he'll mention the LipoLite, and hopefully they'll be interested, and he'll push it on to the next step. You got to stop that. That is not what LipoLite is for. You would not have opened up whatever clinic you're running right now or your chiropractic or whatever with that type of energy. Wherever you put your energy is where you will be successful. Write that down, because wherever you put your energy is where you're going to be successful. So if this is just a fly-by-night kind of thing you mention to a patient or a client or somebody else in your clinic, that's all it is to the patient. Where's the show and tell? Where's the wow factor? Where's where you build up? We put LipoLite on a pedestal in our office. And trust me, I have 2 clinics across the street selling some other type of fat-burning machines around me that have been around a lot longer. So how did we compete against them? It's because we really build the LipoLite as it should be. We really display it as something that is going to change your life. This is going to help you achieve the goals that you were unable to achieve before. 15, 20, 30 years ago, whatever the time may be, this type of technology wasn't even available. We now have the availability to emulsify fat to help you get to the stubborn areas that you have not been able to get to with diet alone. So you start to learn key words like that and phrases that just hit home for these patients. And when they hear that, they say, yeah, you know what, I'm tired of going on the same track, doing the same thing over and over. I need that a little help. And what I found is that most of the time they're excited about coming in. They're motivated. They can't wait for their appointment. And that's what causes somebody to refer, right? And so they refer and tell their girlfriends. Because don't worry about the how and what. LipoLite's already designed a machine that works. So you don't need to worry about that. Measure the patients before and after every several treatments. You're going to see that, you're going to see inch loss. So that's neat. All you got to worry about now, that means all you got to worry about is your marketing strategy. How can I tell as many people about this as possible? Where do I start? What do I do? And that's a little bit more of what I want to focus on here too, so that you understand kind of what's worked for us and what might work for you in your area, and then we'll talk about that a little bit more too. So it's really understanding that part there. So it is our responsibility to get this out to everybody as well. So that means that you can't be too prideful to go to a festival or an event or all those things that maybe in chiropractic we often look at as going, I used to do that when I first opened up practice. Well, you're opening up a new practice. You got to think of that. In our clinic, LipoLite is set up as a different company in itself. Okay, let me say that again. When someone comes into my office for LipoLite treatment from an ad or something they saw or referral, they had no clue that they were going to be walking into a chiropractic office. I'm sorry to say it, but not everybody has positive thoughts about chiropractic, so we don't want chiropractic to mix or interfere with the growth of LipoLite. Okay? And I don't know how many of people are on this call are chiropractors or other physicians, but I just want to say that for those of you that are, so that you understand that LipoLite needs to be on its own. It needs to be a separate entity that's set up. Okay? So when you walk into my office, what you would see is a wellness clinic with half the size, and trust me, I started off at a little 1,000-square-foot office. Now we have a 3,000-square-foot office. And so if you're saying to yourself, I don't have the space for that or do this, I started out of one room doing a LipoLite machine, one little room, one little corner. So anyone can do this. So that's not really a good excuse. Plus, this isn't the time to be thinking about excuses. This is the time to think about growth and actually making it possible. So when you walk in my clinic, you're going to see on one side of the clinic, you're going to see a hallway. And in that hallway is where all my LipoLite, my wellness patients, the weight loss, that's where all that is. When you go down the other side of the hallway or the other side of the rooms, the patients know, okay, that's where people get adjusted. Okay? So I've named, I have a doing business as is my weight loss company. So originally I started off doing, chiropractic, and I said to myself, so many people can't hold their adjustments. They're always complaining. They're going to this place and that place for weight. Well, who knows about weight loss better than us? We're anatomy. We know everything about the body. So why would I let my patients go somewhere else when I know I could help them? And I know more about them than anyone else will. And so that's when weight loss really became important to us, understanding how to detox the patient, get them healthy so that they eat right, so that it maximizes the LipoLite results, really, and holds on to it. So, and then we found LipoLite. So in my clinic, we've combined my weight loss program, which any of you can follow any type of weight loss program that you know works. And what we do is we meet with our clients, and I'll explain how we meet with them and what we do here a little later in the talk, but I just want you to understand the setting. Each room that I have set up for weight loss now has a sauna in it, a massage bed, some towels. It has that whole atmosphere-like feeling. It has a LipoLite. And what we do in there is we meet with our clients once a week for consultations and improvements, and we call our girls that sit with them accountability coaches, and they hold them accountable for making right decisions, making sure that they held up for their appointments every week, and so on. And it's a big motivating thing for them. The other part of the program that I have, after they sit with their accountability coach, they'll go into one of the weight loss rooms. And in one of these weight loss rooms, that's where you're going to actually see they're going to do infrared sauna for a little bit. And then we have we offer other services like body wraps and whatnot. But the LipoLite is really our main drive. That's really what attracts our patients. That's what gets their attention. That's what helps us get the results. And so then they'll go through the LipoLite treatment, and then we also have a scale where we weigh them, measure them. We get their basal metabolic rate, their BMIs, their fat percentages, and we really turn it into more of a program with the LipoLite instead of, by the way, here's this light, good luck. No, we have a little screen they watch in the show. LipoLite produces an awesome video where it plays what LipoLite does. So we have that on a reel that just goes over and over and over on a TV. So when the women take them in, they'll introduce what the LipoLite is, how it does it. Watch this little video for me, and then we'll talk about what they say to get the sale so that they actually buy more. But I just wanted you to understand kind of what it is that we do in our clinic, so you have an idea as to how you can adjust your clinic kind of in a similar manner if that's what you wish. But so that's huge. That's huge for us. We want to make sure that you understand that the LipoLite can generate a revenue. Right now for us, it's about $50,000 a month, maybe a little bit more. And so that's helping us to do the things we want. I talked a little earlier about your goals. What are your goals? Write it down on your paper right now. What are your goals this year? Then what are your goals in the next 6 months? And what about this month? Maybe you don't have any events or anything planned this month because you're just now doing this phone call and you've been a little lost. But that would mean this month you have the ability to plan whatever you want. This month is a planning month then. So let's get this month going so that we have the rest of the year to generate a revenue of income. So what we have found in our clinic that works well for us is to have a common goal. So your might be, okay, I'm going to advertise for LipoLite, and then I'm going to have the clients come in and I'll do a consult with them, do a little show and tell, right, which is what we call it. And, when I used to work for eBay making six figures, all I did was teach people how to sell. So there's a show and tell aspect of how you sell the LipoLite, and then we do the procedure, and then we tell them how well it went. We made sure that they're excited about it, and then we show and tell others that have been in the same situation as them with before and after photos, and then we tell them that this can be them as well, and this is the cost. So we'll go over that a little bit too in detail, what exactly it is we're saying. But I just want you to be able to set yourself up so that you can have you can mimic that. So what we do in our clinic about having a common goal is so you can do a consult like I was just talking about, or like in our clinic, what we have decided to do is seminars. Okay? So this might not work for everybody, which it doesn't matter, because when we get too busy, we do it the other way, where we do the free consult and treatment. But all of last year, what really hit our numbers was getting them in droves. So our main goal when we set up our marketing calendar was, how do we get people to our seminar? And what is our seminar going to be about? And so we wanted to make a seminar that we focused on 6 fat-burning hormones, right? And we talked about how the hormones work and how LipoLite can assist in getting the results you want, but how eating properly, and we have a little supplementation that we give them and whatnot to help their body get back to balance. As a chiropractor or whatever type of physician you are, that a balanced body stays in balance, right? And so LipoLite helps us to achieve that goal. So then we would talk in the seminar, and we would even do a little, again, show and tell in the seminar. We would actually sit there, and we'd actually demonstrate how the LipoLite works in our seminar. So we usually get 20 to 30 people in a seminar, and we would do them. At one point, we were doing them once a week, but then we got to where we were doing them twice a week and then consults in between. So there are several different ways that you can actually do your marketing. So grab a pen if you haven't got one already, and I'm going to kind of give you a little rundown of what we've done, and I'll tell you what kind of numbers we feel like that would hit. One thing I think I should hit on real quick, just briefly, is in practice, in anything you do, people always talk about that home run, right? You talk about that one person that just did that one ad that generated 50-something leads. And
yes, thank you, Doc, for mentioning that.
Yeah, okay. Well, and that's true that at times we hear those wonderful stories, and I guarantee you they're not lying, that it really did happen. What I think is wrong, though, is building your business around a supposed home run. Because what happens when that home run isn't a home run anymore, and you built your whole clinic around that? That would be kind of scary. And you know what I'm talking about if you own a chiropractic clinic or anything else like that. So what really is the home run? And write this down. The home run is the many facets of revenue. So it's not, if you were to have a bubble chart on your wall there, and I was able to draw my clinic's name in the middle, I would have several bubbles around my name representing what facets I have of income. So that way, if one slows down, it doesn't ultimately affect me like it would as depending on one ad, like a home run ad. Now, I've had some home run commercials and things like that, which is awesome, but that should be more viewed as extra income than anything. So some of the things that we found worked for us is all of our advertisements talk about driving people to our seminar. Okay, so for us, we want them to come to a seminar. For you, if you don't want to do a seminar, you don't want to go through that, maybe you do smaller classes, or maybe you do just one-on-ones. Maybe that's easier for you right now where you're at. So either way, I did one-on-ones in the beginning, and, you know, my conversion rate, I'd say, was like 50%, 40, 50%. You run into financial problems and all those types of things one-on-one. Whereas in a seminar, you wow them. You know, it becomes more, wow, look at this guy. He knows what he's talking about. He does this. You become one of a kind instead of just another. And so as one of a kind, they all feel privileged to kind of get their time with you. And so at the end of the seminar, I would tell them, listen, if you like what you've heard today and you feel like you're ready to make some changes in your life for this year, then I'd like you to schedule an appointment where you can be able to sit with me one-on-one. And during this one-on-one, we're going to do a health assessment. We're going to review what choices you've been making and where you've been at and what needs to change for this year. Trust me, you do not want to miss this opportunity to sit one-on-one. In fact, just to show you how much we want to help you make that change, instead of $125, which is our normal fee for a consult with the doc, we're going to make it so that's only $25. And I want you to come, and we're going to review your history. We give them a survey and all that I'll talk about how I organize for the seminar. And then they come up, and we already have these little labels after the seminar that's all spread out where it has the times, because it's hard to schedule 20, 30 people at one time. We found people started leaving before they scheduled and said, oh, I'll call. So instead we found out if we made these little stickers with the times on it, they would just grab a sticker, say this is the time I want, and we could schedule 20-something people at one time. So then they would meet with us, and we would go through that. And I'm going to go through that here in just a sec. But before I skip this and focus mainly on the seminar, I just wanted you to understand you could be doing this all just as a consult too. I just found that as a seminar speaker or whatnot, you become more of a wow factor in that sense and a little more special. So all of our marketing for us directed everybody to how do we get to that seminar. So some of the marketing things that we use, grab a pen here, again, if you haven't got one already. These are some of the ones that we use, and I'll tell you kind of how they did for us. One of the first things that we did was the newspaper, okay? Now, I know you're thinking, oh, the newspaper's got an older readership. It's probably dying out. It's got a lot on it. No, the first time I did an ad in the newspaper, I showed a picture of the LipoLite machine, and I showed the cells on the left side. I showed the cells shrinking under a microscopic view, and I put finally lose the inches, and I offered come to a free seminar where you can learn how to get your 6 fat burning hormones working and get a free LipoLite session or something to that nature. And we probably received our first time we did the newspaper. Maybe we definitely filled up 2 seminars, so maybe about 20 people in each seminar. I do my seminars just in my clinic in the front waiting room. Some people might want to get inside of like an Olive Garden or something like that, just some type of restaurant, and you can rent a little space if you don't have that in your clinic. But I got about 20 to 40 people. And the ad itself, I recommend if you're going to do a newspaper ad, trust me, I spent a lot of money figuring out what ad size works. If you're going to do it, it has to be a minimum of half a page. It cannot be one of these 1/4 pages. I did 1/4. You're going to get 4 or 5 calls. You're going to make your money back is what's going to happen. So you got to spend a little money to make money sometimes. And so the newspaper itself was great. It is still great. We just created a new one yesterday. But it's a great way to make get phone calls. So again, if you don't want to do the seminar, we would just sign them up for a seminar, or on our website. If you go to our website, you'll notice there's a place where you can actually click on the link to sign up for my seminars on my website as well. So everything I did was motivating to that one factors, getting them to my seminar, because I knew if I got them there, my conversion rate was 80% most likely, if not more. I mean, very rarely. I mean, your mindset has to be, I've met doctors where they try to sell these big plans, and if they can't get the plan, they say, okay, on to the next. And that's just wrong. You know the old saying, something is better than nothing, right? So help this person. Remember, that's our why. The whole reason we're in practice is to be successful in life and to be a leader and to be a teacher to these patients. So help them make that decision. If they can't financially afford it, we're going to make it so they can afford it. And I'll talk to you kind of some of the ways that we do that so that we can still get the income from them or build up our income still. So first off, we did the newspaper, and we still are. We got one coming out next week. For my area, it generates maybe about 20 calls. So you'll have to try it. It's going to do better in the beginning than at the end with yours. So you have to. That's why I say you don't just rely on the home run. The second thing that I want you guys can try. You guys heard him talk about Groupon. We'll get on Groupon and Living Social, and here's the deal. When we do Groupon and Living Social, when we first did it, we were doing 200-300 people would sign up, and now we're doing about 50 to 60-something people. Don't be fooled in thinking that, oh, these people it's free, I'm going to lose money. You already own the LIpo machine, right? So how do we spread our message? The only way to spread it is if people know about us and come in the office. You have to be so confident in yourself and have your procedures down that you know when they come in for their LipoLite session that they're going to want to sign up for more. And so we turn over a Groupon, Living Social, all that is huge for us. And so usually the way that works, since we're on the subject, is our clients will come in. They'll meet with one of my staff members. If you don't have a staff member, do it yourself. And they'll meet with them. We have a little questionnaire that it asks what their goals are, how they heard about us, what they want to achieve. So that way in the consult, you have a little bit of ammo, right? You know what to go after. So if the client sits down and she says, yeah, you know what, I work out a ton, I've not seen the results I want. Now you know exactly what heartstrings to pull at to help her make the right decision. So then we point her out, and we also know what kind of results that she wants to achieve. So ask her, what are her goals? Just like we asked you guys while we started this. What are her goals? What do you want to achieve this year? What is it about the weight that you hate so much? Well, I don't know. I don't like to go. I don't like to look in the mirrors when I pass by them at my house. My pants make me feel fat because they're so tight when I wear them. All of these things have an emotional attachment that we want to help them get rid of. You see, you're not just helping people lose a couple inches. You're actually changing their life and the way they see themselves. I mean, it broke my heart when you hear that they don't want to look at the mirror in themselves. I mean, that's really what is so neat. And if you don't have that passion right now, when someone says that, I mean, I have so much drive on that I'll give them a free session because I want them to experience how LipoLite works. I already know the how and the what. I already know that it's going to work. So they just need an opportunity to see that it works. So let them come in from a Groupon or a Living Social. I know you're not making much money off of the original sell of that, but at the same time, it's the potential that you want. And so when they come in, I have it set up so the staff, when they upsell, they get a percentage. But what happens is they'll sign up, and we'll present them to, we have a bronze, a gold, or a silver and a gold membership program that they can choose from, depending on what type of results they want. And so after we give them the treatment, we bring them right back into the room, which we already told them that they would end up in the beginning. Listen, today we're going to do this, this, and this is how it's going to feel, and these are the results we expect. After you see that, after that, we're going to sit with you again, and we're going to go over how we can help you achieve the goals that you just got finished telling me that you want to achieve this year. Then we sit back in the room, and I sit next to them, and I say, these are the options that we have for you. Obviously, we'd all want to drive a Ferrari if we could, right? Well, maybe not all of us, Prius, whatever it is. We'd all want to drive that car that we can't afford. So cost is going to be most likely their major concern. So you need to make sure that their desire and their want to change this year is greater than the cost, okay? So what I mean by that is if you see somebody coming in and you know there's no way that they can afford this or that, don't go trying to pitch a 30-something LipoLite session to them when that's just a waste of their time and your time. Sit there and talk to them, ask them the questions. What is it that you want to achieve this year? Okay, typically we see these type of results in 12 to 15 sessions. I think that would be a good start for you. We normally charge this per session, but because you came in from a Groupon or Living Social ad, what we'd like to do to help you get started today is we'd like to take the cost that you already spent on Groupon and subtract it from our already discounted rate. So if normally it's $1,200 and something for this many visits, and now you are only paying this. And wait, now you need to understand at this point right here in sales, and I know some of us don't like to be called salespeople, but that's really what you are. You're selling yourself and what you stand for. But so they'll look at you. Whoever says the next word here loses. Okay? Remember that. Here's a good example. Yeah, you need 24 adjustments, and this is the cost. But, I think it's going to be really good for you, and you're really going to feel good. And I just keep rambling on after the cost because I feel awkward charging this person that cost. That energy is sensed in the patient, and that drives down your sales. Really what needs to happen is you say, and you know what? This is going to change your life. You're going to be able to fit in the jeans you want, and I want you to stop in front of every mirror and appreciate what you see. The cost here is going to be $1,254, whatever your cost is. The patient's going to look at you. You're going to look at them, and this is where you need to be quiet. Don't try to talk them into it. That's salesy. Don't do that. Let them make the decision. The next thing she's going to say is most likely a concern. Well, this sounds good. I think this would work, but, well, great. That's fantastic. We would love to start with you today. Well, here's how it works. And now present to them the future. Tell them exactly what's going to happen. So that seems to be the only option in their mind. So at $1,254, what we like to do is sign you up for that. You can either prepay it today, or we have other payment plans that you can pay as you go if that's easier on you. We don't care. We just want to help. And then here's how it's going to work. When you leave here, Justine or my office manager is going to go ahead and schedule you out the next couple of weeks. Please make sure you show up on time and and start talking about it, assuming the sale, right? And then the client says what? The client says, okay, well, yeah, no, this should work. Or, what were those other payment plans you had? Okay, now you know what her concerns are. Now close the deal and make it happen. And then from that day forward, there's some people who hate doing pre-sales or don't feel comfortable. Let me tell you something. How would you feel every time you went to hang out with your friend and they asked if they could borrow $20? You know what I mean? That's no fun. So that's the way I look at pre-sales. That's how I feel more comfortable with it, is that I'm giving you a discounted rate, and for doing that, you're not ever going to have to worry about talking about money again when you come into my office. From this day forward, all we ever talk about is how well you're doing, how happy you are, the changes that you're making. We're not going to say, oh, by the way, you owe us again today. And so that's what I love about pre-sales. Also, it's very difficult to drive a business and continue to grow in a business when you're just when you're just getting paid per service. It's very difficult. And that's how you start to do some marketing that maybe you can't afford right now. So you have to change the way that you're selling the programs. And also, you're doing the patient, in my mind, a disservice when you only sell the program. When you only sell them per service. Because you and I know that sometimes the patients haven't made a lifestyle change. So they may be doing the LipoLite and then eating at McDonald's. I have a McDonald's right across the street from me. And so now you're doing LipoLite a disservice because it looks like it's not working when in actuality it is. But because you didn't take the time to show them what our true program should look like, here they are thinking LipoLite didn't work, and they're moving on and maybe even leaving a negative review. So it's really, really important to feel comfortable in your skin and know that your why is to change this person's life. And to do that, it's going to take, a little bit of commitment. So feel comfortable in doing that. And I promise you, you'll love your job. You'll love going to work. I passed people in the hall. I passed a lady in the hallway the other day. I said, how's it going? She goes, it's going okay. I said, really? She was on week 6. We had on a 12-week program I had her on. And I said, what's going on? She's lost 32 pounds already, and she's not happy. It's because her goals are so high. I said, that's fantastic. So just be happy with the programs and understand that they work and that you're actually doing them a bigger favor by doing it that way. Okay? So newspapers is one way to drive people in. The Groupons and Living Socials, Amazon Local, and then you all have local little people, like the newspapers have little buy now kind of things in their communities. Those work. You're using those to help drive the potential to sell more and to help more. Okay? So that's a huge one. The next one I want you guys to think about is we actually have a sign. I put a sign out in front of my building, and I only do it on Fridays because the city gets mad at me. So I do it, and I put it out, and I pull it back in. But I always get calls. I have never put out the sign and not got calls. So some of you live where the cities won't mind. Oh, my gosh, what a gold mine you're sitting on. So make a sign. My sign has a picture of a woman holding half her pants out, and it says, wanted, 20 to 30 people who want, or it says wanted, 20 people who want to lose 20 to 30 pounds. Call, and then we have the number. So we don't mention the LipoLite. We don't mention anything. So they're almost so curious as to what is that? What do you? And I'm telling you, that works. So then they'll call, and then we just schedule them again for the seminar, or we'll schedule them for a one-on-one. But write that down, because that's something cheap you can do today. You can go and purchase for, what, 50, 60, 70 bucks. Mine's like a 4x6, and we just post it up in the front, in the yard, in the grass in front of our building, and there's a big street. Or maybe you can find a friend or somebody else who can post it where it's visible. Okay? But that is a huge one. I would say probably 3 or 4 calls from that. Every single day we put that up, which you and I both know if you're selling anywhere from a $1,000 to a $3,000 program, that was free and easy. The next thing that we do, if you looked at our calendar right now, are bridal shows. How many of you have thought of that before? Bridal shows are awesome. They are my favorite because here you have people who are wanting exactly that, LipoLite. Often they don't want to lose weight. They just want to lose inches. Those are 2 different things. And so we set up our banners, and and you can always ask Jill for photos of our, I can send her photos of what our clinic looks like at an event. But we have the banner set up, and we have a couple tables with our business name on it. And then we actually bring a LipoLite machine to the event, and we do little demonstrations. So one person's getting it, and as we're hitting every person that walks by, and we talk about the results and what they're doing and how it's working. We ask the patient who's getting it, how does it feel? And then we have a little coupon at the bridal shows. And on the coupon, what it says in the front is you get 1 LipoLite body sculpting treatment for, and get this, $15. I know you're saying, what? This guy's crazy. $15, that's not worth my time. Again, I'm all about potential. I know that if I can just get them in my office, my staff and I are trained well enough that we can convert them into a client. So please understand that I do $15 because it just gets them there. So they're allowed to buy 1. They come to the seminar, and then they try, and then we introduce the step that way. So bridal shows are awesome. How many people do I usually get at a bridal show? Usually getting at least 15 to 20 people per show. Okay? And bridal shows have seasons to them. So just go ahead and go on Google, hit bridal shows in your area, and it will actually pull up what season. So it's a seasonal thing. Again, they're home runs, but I can't wait around for a bridal show, right? So that's during that part of the year we're always we're booking. And remember, brides have who? Moms and sisters and everybody else that's got to prepare for the show, right? Another service that another asset or avenue that we love to use is moms groups. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but mom groups. So we will go to, we'll send one representative, and we'll go to a mom's group, like play dates, those types of things. And there's big organized groups where these women actually have to pay to be part of the groups. And so they're usually made up of 40, 50 women. And let me tell you, you get a mom talking about you, you've got the whole town talking about you. So we get referrals. We have several of those on our schedule today, just coming in from that. The other actual thing that we do is health expos. So we have a women's expo coming up here this next month. So we'll do the demonstration, and a lot of times I don't even go to these. So in the beginning, you might need to go to train your staff, but they should get to the point where your staff goes on their own, okay? Or you hire what we call a community outreach director, and you pay them an hourly wage, and they go and find out where all these events are, and you pay them, they can be an independent contractor or whatnot, and you pay them on an hourly rate, and you get them to find the events for you, Googling, talking, whatever they're doing, okay? So that's a huge one. The other one that we use, too, are just the regular festivals. So a lot of you have, like, wine and art festivals and whatnot. You've seen the chiropractic booth screening. Trust me, I've done those. I still do have my associates do those. But when you have it for LipoLite and you have demonstrations happening, it's nothing like trying to pitch chiropractic. People walk up to you, not away from you. So it's very, very fun, and it's interactive. And so the festivals are always worth it. Most festivals in my area, I'm in the I don't know if I'm supposed to say where I'm at, but I'm in an area that's very expensive. So it's they cost anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 per day. So you just need to figure out what your festival costs are, and then rent a booth in that space, and then build that up. And then every year you're there, and they start to walk up to you. The other aspect to it too is, of course, your search engine optimization and whatnot. Now, and what really hit home for us, I did a lot of these little things, these mom and pop things to build us up and get a revenue going. So just later in the half this last year, I started doing for us what is called Cron 4, or I go on the news. It's like a little news spot, and it cost me maybe, I want to say, this is a little more costly, so it was about $4,000. But my first commercial I did, we received well over 50 leads. So well over 50 leads. What I would recommend, though, and this is important because I lost a lot of money doing this, write down that you do not drive people to a seminar on a commercial or a spot on TV. People just will not show for that. It has to be one-on-one. And I didn't realize that until somebody bigger and better than myself instructed me on how to do that. So do not try to pitch people to come to a seminar on a TV commercial or ad or spot that you do with your local news. Okay, but that has been generating many leads for us, and that's kind of where I'm going. But I know that it's hard to work yourself up to where you can afford to do those type of commercials. So when you're first starting out, please stick to doing everything you can, from patient referrals that are coming in to bridal shows, to festivals, to mom groups, and the yard signs, like I was telling you about before, and the newspapers. We even have drop boxes. Have you ever thought about that? Doing a drop box. You would just basically, there's a company online called Lead Boxes, and you go there and you put a picture of the LipoLite on the box, and you put a survey and win a free LipoLite session. They put their name in. Look at that. Now you have generated revenue, and you're not even having to give any money to Living Social or Groupon or any of those people. So we have maybe, 20 to 30 locations where we have drop boxes at. And again, you can just spend a day going out and talking to these people, saying, hey, do you mind if I put this over here? Kinko's, those types of places have those. Now, this is all real mom and pop stuff that I'm telling you about, but it's a good way to get started, and also changes your paradigm. It changes the way you think about LipoLite. Here before, you had LipoLite sitting in the back room of a chiropractic room or a massage room or whatever it is, getting treated like it's like ultrasound. And now you've created, the first mistake I want you to correct is create your own business around LipoLite, okay? Create your own website. Create your own Facebook. Create your own, everything you've done for whatever company you're running now that got you to get the LipoLite, create its own. And do it as a DBA. It doesn't matter. Just get people understanding that weight loss program is the other part or another entity that you own. Now it'll start to get the respect that it needs. You'll still get the referrals from the chiropractic or the massage or the acupuncture, whatever it is that you're doing, but at the same time, you need to create your own company, okay? Once you've done that, now when you go marketing, you don't say, oh, yeah, I'm from chiropractic, this and that, because what happens then is people get turned off right away. So it's the same thing. We used to do massages in corporate events and stuff, and we create our own massage name. It's the same thing. So make sure you understand that, because that's huge. Something that you do once you do get the ball rolling, so here in a couple of months we'll have something that's called a ladies' night. And in this ladies' night, we're going to invite everybody. Everything's free to me. So we have everyone from someone who tries on bra sizes and from Nordstrom's, and you get restaurants, and you get samplers this and wine and whatever it is, all the samples from your area of local businesses. Tell them you have 40 to 50, 60-something people coming that night, and it's all going to be free to them. All they have to do is bring their product and display them in your office. And it's a ladies' night, so the ladies get to come in, and there's free massage chairs and whatnot. It's a night of gathering. It's like a little party. And that will really get a buzz going for your LipoLite as well. Out of all of this, though, I guess what I want to do is spend the remainder of the time just helping you understand that this is what generates and gets you treating LipoLite like its own entity. You have to have these revenues, these different leads. So let's say that you have a month that's empty And you say, well, there are no festivals going on that month, and I couldn't get the mom group to do anything. And, you know, you're sitting there saying, well, I've got nothing planned this month. What do I do? Well, that's where the yard signs come in. That's where the other aspects of the leads that I told you, that's where, okay, maybe you have to bite the bullet this month and you have to actually invest a little bit into an outside marketing like newspaper or TV, right? So that way you get that. Corporate talks is another one. Something that we just started doing is we've been buying phone lists. In fact, I have an associate in the other room doing it right now. We buy phone lists of any group that has 25 employees or more, and you can buy the list and they'll send it to you. And what we're doing now is we're going to call these companies and tell them that we're providing free services such as massage and whatnot. And then we push the LIpo Light and all that there, because again, it all relates to each other. So there's many ways to think about how you can pull in extra revenue off of these different ways. I just don't want you thinking that's just one home run, okay? And then and know what your goals are. Like I said in the beginning, know that, okay, I want to make $50,000 every month. Or maybe I want to make $15,000. Maybe that's a more realistic number for you in the beginning, or $20,000, whatever it is. If you want to make that much, you have to divide that up by how many leads do I need? How many people do I actually have to sign up? If you don't know that number off the top of your head, you have not planned out well enough. You can ask any one of my staff what the number is that we're going for, and they all should be able to answer. So that's the exciting part about LIpo Light, is that you can create your own business around it. Mike, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Joe? Okay, is there any part on that you want me to emphasize a little more on, or? Let me ask you.
So I had a couple of people ask, do you have an emotional profile, like when you communicate to your patient? Like I noticed you say, what is it, and which I think is brilliant, what is it about the weight that you hate so much? So you're getting right to the emotional core. Like we teach the 8 emotional psychological needs of the patient as it relates to, obviously, LIpo Light and understanding those 8. Do you do the same thing?
No. So really what happens is through our questionnaire that we have, when they first sign up, and let's say they're going to be in a seminar, they get a little packet, and in that packet there's a survey. So I think that's kind of what you're talking about. This is what gives me the leads and tells me where they're at. So let's say in that survey it's going to ask them, do you I should grab one here, but it'll say something like, do you appreciate grab
one. Go get it if you don't mind.
Okay.
I think it'll just speak volumes.
Grab one home. Yeah, because it's really important that you understand that basically what's happening is it's going to talk about how you can actually achieve. You want to know what their concerns are without them telling you, right? That's the whole key behind it. Let me grab one in the back room. So with us, remember, we originally started more as weight loss. And so with that being said, a lot of my questions will have to do with what do they not like about the weight, right? And most of it will come down to, let me just grab this real quick.
Good.
Okay, so in the beginning of my packet, I give them a toxicity assessment questionnaire.
Great.
And this, in the beginning, it'll talk about, do you get headaches? Does your parents have, do you have relatives that have any disease that you're concerned about, right? So it has, and then there's divided up into areas. How's your health? How's your digestive tract? And it talks about joints and muscles. One part talks about weight. And then there's a sheet that I have that says circle from 0 to 4 what emotions you experience on a daily basis because of your weight. And it will say mood swings, anxiety, anger, irritability, depression, sense of despair, lethargy, fatigue, sluggishness, hyperactive, restlessness, insomnia. So now we're basically getting all the info in the seminar. But I always start my seminar off by saying, what is it that we hate so much about the weight? What is it?
Love that. That's a brilliant question.
And what will happen is, and I'll say, listen, we're all here because of the same reason, okay? So we're not here to judge. Is anyone willing to share with me why they're here tonight? And I'll get the hands will start to raise, and you'll get the brave ones in the crowd, and she'll say, my dad had diabetes, and I don't want that too. Or, my doctor told me my blood pressure got to go down. Then you'll start to get, okay, yeah, this is great. And they'll try to play it safe. Don't let them. We're not here to play it safe. I want to know the truth, and I'll call them out on it. I'll stop in the crowd and I'll say, you know, you're going to make fun of me right here, but I have a part where I actually put a wig on. I'm bald, so I have a shaved head. So I actually put a wig on and a mustache, and I turn around and the crowd starts laughing, right? So they look at this crazy guy. Who is this guy? So I wear this wig, and I go, how ridiculous do I look right now? You know how embarrassed I am to be wearing this in front of you? This is so embarrassing. Everyone's laughing and going, oh, he looks like this. He looks like the guy. You know, all these things, right? So then what I do is I turn it from getting them to laugh, and then I take the wig off and I take the mustache off, and I say, no, seriously, that just like that wig made me feel like somebody I'm not, your weight makes you feel like someone you're not. And so let's stop with
great.
Yeah, and then I'll say, let's stop with the BS answers with the blood pressure, this and that, because you would have made this decision a long time ago when your doctor put you on blood pressure medication. What is it now that's emotionally driving you to want to be here? Now you'll get the hand saying, I don't want to look at myself in the mirror. I hate the way my pants feel. I avoid family events. You know, you'll start to get that.
Love it.
That is why we're here. That is what's going to get them to say, you know what? Yeah, I work hard for my money, and I should deserve to feel good about myself. So that's when they decide, okay, I want to spend money on LipoLite.
How do you transition that emotional moment right there to, you know what, here, I'm going to make this decision right now, like I'm done. Like, so from that moment, normally, how do you transition that? What is the next verbiage or?
Okay, so normally that's the beginning of a seminar that I then teach about eating properly.
So you launch with that. You launch. In other words,
oh,
this
yeah.
is how you. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and let's say that I wasn't doing that in a seminar, though. Let's say that I'm just one-on-one. That's not going to change, so I'll give you that aspect. So let's say the patient's sitting across from me, and I don't put the wig on and all that silliness because you're sitting there laughing at me going, oh, what's this guy going to do? Well, let's say that I just say, yeah, it'd be no different than me wearing a hat or wearing a funny jacket. I'd be embarrassed to go out. You know, give an example that you feel comfortable with. The patient looks at you and you start laughing. You get them on a high, and then you go from there to saying, okay, well, just like you feel like this is silly, the weight makes you feel silly. In which ways is it affecting you? They give you the answers that we just went over. And then from there you say, listen, this is what makes us different. And I don't want to, this is what I say in my clinic. I say, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, all these people out there, which, by the way, you know who owns Weight Watchers? It's like Heinz Ketchup or something crazy like that. I say, all these people, they don't care about you personally. They care about their bottom dollar. Here at our business, we care about you. We want you to feel good. If you're not happy with something during our program here, you come up and tell me. I'm going to make sure you're happy. And that makes them feel secure and safe, you know, because they will. They should.
Nice.
And then from there I tell them, I say, listen, our program was designed to get results, not to not get results. We wouldn't be in business here if we weren't getting results. So I'm going to show you. And then I have a binder. This is probably, I'm glad you asked that because I didn't even go over this. I then pull out a binder, okay? And in this binder is a picture of the 3 cells that, like, it shows on microscopic, it shows them shrinking. It shows a binder. It shows the services happening. So I have the patient almost like living through the procedure as I'm talking about it. So it has pictures, and they're in little, what do you call it, like little clear wrap.
Laminated, whatever.
Yeah, laminated. And so then I go, this is how it's going to work. And I tell them, this is how it's going to work. We're going to do this first. We're then going to have you go in the sauna. It's going to open up your pores. It's going to help us detox. It's infrared. It does this and this. The LipoLite, you're going to be on it for 20 minutes. It works this way. I draw a little picture. I talk about emulsifying fat. What really gets people to buy is helping them understand that it's going to get to the stubborn fat that they can't get to on their own. So let's say they work out, or we call it a spot reduction treatment, right? It's that spot that you just can't get to. So then we go into that, and then at the end I say, at the end what we're going to do is measure. We're going to do this, and then I'm going to also instruct you on how to eat, and then I go over the weight loss portion, and I say, so how does that sound to you? And that's all you have to say. So how does that sound to you? Because really, they can't lie, right? That sounds great. I didn't ask you, how does that sound with the cost that's associated with it? No, I just said, how does that sound to you? And they usually go, oh, this sounds good, da-da-da. Or they'll say, well, you know, I don't know, how many times do I have to come in? Or how's it? So you'll get the concerns out of them by asking a non-invasive question. Then they say what? Well, they'll give you the concern. You address the concern. And you say, listen, again, I know that you want to make these changes, and I promise you that here at whatever company you're at, this is what we do, and LipoLite is going to help us get that. And then you just show them then you say, is there anything else you'd like to know? Do not, let me make sure you know this, do not say, here are the costs. I know it sounds crazy. You do not at that point say, here's what the costs are, or would you like me to go over the costs? Oh my gosh, that's the biggest mistake you can make. The client has to then say what? I say, is there anything
how much is it?
you'd like to know? Yeah, that's all that's left.
Is there anything else you want to know? Yeah, how much is it? Let them ask.
Well, because then guess what I say then? Well, since you asked, right? They're the ones driving it. Well, since you asked, I can go over some of it. Are you more interested in achieving all of your goals that we talked about, or do you want to just, and then they say, well, yeah, and they point you in the right direction. That will increase your sales.
Love it.
That's good stuff right there. And then, then they sign up, and then from there you sign them up for the next couple of weeks, get their name on the books, tell them if for any reason you got to change, don't worry about it, just give us a heads up. But it's important you're here because, like anything else, it's being repetitive, right? Okay, so that's really how we close the deals there. But it's the emotional tie to it is very, very important.
So at that point you can say, Mary, just like you said before, you're tired of avoiding your family events. You're tired of your parents not fitting right. So is it finally going to feel like knowing that
before you say that, if she says, yeah, I try to avoid events, or I don't want to get intimate with my husband because I'm embarrassed. I hear that a lot. So let's say they say that. Don't just go, oh, okay, and nod your head. No, your body language is half your selves. I wish I could do this in front of you guys. But I sit back in my chair, I pause, I look at her, and I go, oh, my goodness. You know what I mean? Put it
like
on
it's a revelation, like, wow. In other words, this is not just an insignificant event. This is very significant.
Yeah. And
you're acknowledging that. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're addressing it. And one of the biggest things that you need to do when at that point is make sure that these people know that they're in the right place. Because they have many options. They just don't realize you're the best one yet. But if they have somebody who goes, okay, well, this other place has this and this, but these people care. But these people, he was impressed by my story. He really took time to listen. So
you're going to say, well, maybe you won't be surprised to recognize that you're going to feel very emotionally safe here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I had a associate that I was training, and I was sitting in on it, and she went, yeah, oh yeah, oh no, oh we'll have you back doing all those things again. And after the thing, man, I went up to her and I said, you can't do that. You just acted like it was no big deal. You just acted like she said she lost her shoelace.
Right.
No, this is a big deal. And
right.
So you pause.
And recognize it. Stop the music. Pay attention to what they just said, and really take the impact. Let them feel that you got it. You understand them, perhaps for the first time ever. Maybe they haven't been able to feel understood in a long, long time.
Yeah, and
now somebody can understand me.
They're letting you in on their secrets, right? Do you think they're just going to tell you secrets and then go, oh, yeah, by the way, I don't want to sign up. I'm out of here? No, they just let you in their life a little more. They're sold. By the time they start telling you that stuff, they don't want to go telling somebody else just to find a better price.
Right.
No, they're here. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
So,
of course.
Go around
it's not about price. It's not even about price, people.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You have to realize if they're already for me, I have such a big screening. They took the time to call from an ad, or to come sign up from a booth, or to refer from a referral. Then they took the time to night out of their day to come to a seminar for me. Then they took the money out of their pocket to say, yeah, I want to sit with this guy one-on-one. So at that point, my turnover rate, I sign up almost everybody that sits at that point. And it's also because I'm not greedy. That's the other thing I think that's important. I keep talking about money and this and that. I want to make it very clear that I am not greedy. There's no sense of need when I'm selling, okay? So I do not need them. They need me. I'm the only one that knows what I'm doing. I'm the only one with this procedure. But even with that, even with the fact that I know that they need me, I still only want them here if they want to be here. And they know that. And every one of my girls that, if you look at Yelp or anything else on me, everything talks about how nice my staff is. That's all it talks about. So it's just really, really important that you create a trusting environment. And they
communicate it too, right? You communicate that.
And tell them what they're going to feel and what they're going to know. It's show and tell, right? So when you go and put the LipoLite on them, what's their number one concern after one treatment? They're concerned, wait, I still look chubby, right? They just did one. They're thinking, is this a miracle? Is this going to – and here's the deal. LipoLite is amazing, but it's not a miracle. You don't go from being, so fat to so skinny, but it works. And here's the deal. You need to help them understand that so that they don't have a concern or want to quit or get their money back. So what I tell them after that, whether they're signed up and I got their signature and whatnot, I tell them, listen, during this program, you're going to notice some huge results as we get going. And we're going to measure every time we go, but I need you to understand that it is a process and that I need your help. And what we're going to do is we're going to loosen up the fat so it becomes more readily accessible for your body to break down. But what happens is if you go and you sit at home and you do nothing, or you go to eat junk food and whatnot, well, fat goes into the cell, right? Insulin will take it right back into the cell. So I need you to understand that this is an important part of your life. You're making a good decision here, and I want you to respect it that way. And I tell them, I need your help to do this, this, and this. And then it's like you're working together like a team, Whereas if in chiropractic, if I tell someone, okay, you need 36 visits, 6 visits go by, they're not improving, they blame you, right? Mm-hmm. But in LipoLite, in weight loss, no, they blame themselves because they know I told them what to expect and how it's going to work. And if they're not achieving those goals, which is very rare, by the way, I can't even think the last time I ever did it, and I've never issued a refund. You can copy me on that in anything. I've never issued a refund. And so if they feel like they know kind of what to expect, it's not going to be a bumpy road. So do not sell the LipoLite to them as a going from very fat to very skinny. Sell it to them as a way to finally get to the stubborn areas to make them healthier. Okay, so that they have and then they know what to expect, and you are going to get amazing results still. So it's kind of like you're underselling, but you over deliver, right?
Somebody else asked on the Facebook page if you could just speak to regarding your packages, your 3 levels of packages, your bronze, your silver, your gold, and how that relates to selling it.
Yeah, so everybody always wants to know the cost. What is somebody else charging, right? Well, that's going to change for wherever you're at. For us, our top program is let me pull it out. Our top program is $2,940. Our lowest program, well, we have where you could buy a la carte, which is just LipoLite on its own, which is what a lot of you might be doing. You can get just 6 visits for $600 and something, $800. I can't remember. I don't have the cost range, but it's below $1,000. So I have that price range from several hundred all the way up to $3,000. When you have a gold, silver, a bronze, silver, and gold package, what basically happens in my clinic, you got to remember I have a weight loss clinic here too. So if somebody might just want LipoLite, so then that would just be my one package. And then the next patient might want LipoLite with help. So that's the other thing you have to remember too. These people, a lot of your clients might only be selling LipoLite sessions. Come on, they're doctors, most of them, so they should be adding consults in there for $60 every time too, right? And now they just their income. Yeah. And then teach them how to eat right. Tell them how did this week go? Did you eat because you were emotional or because you were hungry? We have that on the side of our binders. It says, were you hungry or emotional? And they have to circle it every time they eat so that we can drive, because it's about changing their lives. So each package has something included. Remember, I do wraps, body wraps, and those kind of things too. So someone might want LipoLite with wraps, with sauna, with whole body vibration, with consult, with LipoLite. So every package just basically adds, so many sessions of each one onto it. And it also determines, I always ask patients, this is a good one, you ready for this? They say, yeah, how much would you like to weigh? What are your goals? And they say, well, how much do you weigh right now? I'm 210 pounds. Well, what are your goals this year? How much would you like to weigh? What would you have to weigh to feel happy about yourself? And then they say, well, ultimately, I'd like to weigh 150. And in their head that they don't believe that when you say it. And that's what I call them out on. I say, 150, that's a great goal, but it's too far out for me to actually grasp a hold to. What would you like to achieve here in the next few months? What do you want? And they'll usually say somewhere between 20 and 40 pounds, right? and
I
they'll
love
be
it.
happy
That's
there.
smart. That's
Right?
smart.
So then
because if they give you some number that they don't even believe, it's easy to say, let me think about it.
No.
Versus you give them something concrete. Now they were going to be, seriously, I can do this.
Yeah. And then when they say that, so then they say 20 to 40 pounds, then guess what I do? I then say, okay, well, now when was, this is an awesome question. Write this down, everybody. When they give you that weight, so let's say it was let's say she said she would like to lose, let's say they said they were 210 and they want to weigh 180, they'd be happy. The next question to them at that point is, so they say they want to be 180. The next question at that point is say, when was the last time you weighed 180?
Nice.
And then they'll say, well, high school or this or that, because they're going to make it seem, it's almost going to seem impossible. And sometimes I say the honest truth to them. I say, listen, if you didn't need our help, you wouldn't be here. So this is the great part about this, is I know you have tried to lose weight and sometimes gain weight back when you've lost it. And I'm going to explain to you why that is and how it is, and then I do that through the coaching. But then I draw on my whiteboard in my office, I draw a 5-week, a 1 to 2 month, a 2 to 3 month, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and a 6+, representing the months and time. I said, on your own, it most likely would take how long you think to lose this. Remember, you always let the patient answer and try it. She says, maybe 4 to 5 months. I say, that's great. Guess what happens when you use LipoLite in our services? We want to achieve that in just 12 weeks. Okay? So now they're going, oh, wow, okay, and I can't. And I won't tell them if I didn't think we couldn't. So then they say, listen, with our help, what we're going to do is we're going to get you feeling better about yourself. We're going to have you hitting these goals. And what happens if we're not hitting those goals halfway through? Remember, I always address their concern before they ask. So they say, what happens if I ask it to them? That's the way to avoid a problem.
Love it.
Ask it first. So I say, what happens, let's say Sarah, what happens if we don't achieve our goal by the halfway mark? If we're not where we're supposed to be? And then she'll sit there and give her whatever answer she says. Well, then it's not working or this or that. I say, well, then we know we definitely need to change some things up to get the results. Because here's the deal. I'm not going to let you go walk out of here not feeling better about yourself. So I'll do whatever it takes to keep you happy. But I want you to understand that this is the program, the outline I have for you that has worked for many thousands of others before you. And they go, okay, yeah, I'm excited. When can we start? And you say,
so that's a big thing. In other words, we've been down this road. We have thousands, hundreds and thousands of people that we've had this positive experience. We know what we're doing here. This isn't something new.
You don't just speak of LiPo. You don't just speak of my company. You say LipoLite itself has had thousands. You know what I mean? So if you bought a LipoLite, you don't just say, oh, I've helped 4 or 5 people before you. No. LipoLite has made it possible for thousands of patients to achieve the same thing you're going to achieve here in the next couple of months.
Brilliant.
Right.
Hey, Doc, I had a question come in about a referral program, and you and I had spoken to that previously.
Okay, what's her question about the referral program? How does the referral work, or you're talking about like my salon program, or from outside?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that one.
Okay, so we recently did, and this is something cheap you guys can all do, find salons in your area. So I know I've got 1 or 2 or 3 above me here in this complex, and so we have them. Basically what we've done is we went to Home Depot or Office Depot or wherever, buy those little plastic stands, and what are they, like $8 each. Get a graphic designer to create a LipoLite ad for you that you put inside of every stylist booth. So, and trust me,
you're talking of hair salons, correct?
Hair salons, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now, but it might grow into others. But so we started the hair salon, and trust me, you'd be surprised. I think almost everybody we contact says, yeah, let's talk or let's meet. And whether or not it turns out, they're all very receptive. So then what we do is, with the ones that we have, is we go and meet them. We say, listen, this is what we'd like to do. We would like to put this stand in each one of your stylist booths. Or if they're individual or independent contractors, you have to go speak to each one of them. And you say, I'd like to put this in your booth. And it says it's like a LipoLite that's half off. And what we do is we allow the salon person to keep the money of whatever they charge that person for it. They have gift certificates in their drawer. They give them a gift certificate. So instead of LipoLite costing $109 a session or whatever it is you guys charge, it's only $35. And so they'll sign up for that. They'll come
Wow.
and then they'll come into us. Now, we have made nothing and we won't lose anything either, right, except our time. But here you have someone. Now, why would the salon, why would they want to do that? Because what'll happen is, instead of making $200 on the cut and color they're doing, and plus their tip, now they're also getting another $35 on top of it for doing nothing. It costs them nothing. We just want their leads, right? And so you have to be careful with your state laws and all that stuff where you're at, but from what I've found out, it works pretty well, and everyone's pretty happy. So that's been working really good for us especially during the Christmas time, November, December.
It's been a sincere pleasure and honor. You're very intelligent, capable. You're helping people here. You're helping patients and clients. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Dr. Brian Coyle. I have the LIpo Light. I would highly recommend it, and we've been very happy with it. Every patient that's done it has gotten results. You can't not get results on it. It's pretty phenomenal.
I'm Doug Littinger. Now, our office has been using the LIpo Light for about the last 7 months with great success.
It's Dr. Taib. I'm board-certified internal medicine physician. I got the LIpo Light machine from Dr. Mike about 2 months ago, and I have had phenomenal results with patients losing about 2 to 6 inches, tripled my gross revenue each month.
My name is Dr. Bruce McKeown from Hampton Roads, Virginia. I just wanted to take a moment to let you know how easy it has been working with Michael and his professional staff at LIpo Light Pro. Michael and his staff have quickly brought me up to speed and comfortable with the process of integrating this product into my busy practice. As a result, I'm more confident than ever that this product will substantially increase both my patient base and my profitability.
Walked in the office today. It's only 9:30 here. There's 6 messages on my answering machine. 4 were for LIpo Light, new clients coming in. 2 were for chiropractic. I've been doing LIpo Light for 3 months. I've been doing chiropractic for 20 years. These are just people who are referring their friends because of the results.
What's happening in your practice with the LIpo Light?
Okay, so I'm going to need another machine. Everybody loves it. Loves it.
I hope you really enjoyed all that information. Know that you can easily incorporate this. Call us. Call me directly. My number is 212-518-8484. I hope this is just the very beginning of a long-term relationship. We're here to sincerely help you. You can do this. I promise you, you can do this. Call me directly at 212-518-8484.